The World and I, Session 5. Having established some of the basis for my understanding that God does exist, that God is a God for all people, and that any group that says they are right and everybody else is wrong, I totally reject that concept. That the principles that should guide our life are more the principles of personal relationship vertically with our God, one-on-one, and the horizontal relationship with our fellow neighbors, and who's our neighbors is everybody, and in terms of willing to do for them what you want them to do for you, and vice versa. Having said all that, I need to move now to uh, perhaps a controversial topic, and say then, and the topic, of course, is if there is God, and if we are going to characterize God as our creator and give him some attributes like love and perfection and so on. And again, I don't want to get to philosophy. There are so many aspects to that, and I I don't want to get into Thomas Aquinas and all the these sessions are really intended to be at a very basic level. And frankly, I don't want to get to all these things because basic is what will convince me and others that we're talking sense rather than getting ourselves into circular discussions sometimes. What is the nature of God? Well, first of all, I can't believe that God would have just created us and then sat down on His throne and forgot all about us. That would not make sense for somebody who's omnipotent, who's got every power you can imagine. I think God created us and created the whole universe, and I don't mind not knowing why He created all the universes. It's certainly a good question, you know, uh, because we are such a speck in the universe, such a speck. The whole planet Earth is so tiny. Uh, why would He create a vast universe like that? If there must be a purpose, and I'm not going to assume I know the reason. Nor there's another famous saying: why would a mud pie say to the person who made the mud pie, "Why are you making me like this?" Well, if there is a creator and He created it this way, then I have to accept that on faith that His purpose um, is good. Again, people can question. Of course, if God was an evil God, then His purpose could be different. Which brings us to the topic of this session: good and evil, God and the devil. Love of God versus the suffering on the world. And it may not be sufficient for this session to discuss this in detail, but I will just come to the conclusion that I have reached uh, after a lot of reflection, of course, after listening to others and reading, etc. My conclusion is simply this. Um, I believe that evil exists as lack, or perhaps total lack, of goodness in others. Um, and I would differentiate that evil from the evil that's brought about by natural disasters, earthquakes, etc. Um, these, I believe, and I will sit on the side of science on these and simply say that is the way it is. These volcanoes and earthquakes happen for whatever reason they happen, geological reasons or otherwise. But the evil that people do to others stems from my conviction that we as human beings are made, we sit on on a, what should I call it, a continuum between pure good to pure evil. Hopefully, there are very few, if any, pure evil. And I must admit that there are very few, if any, perhaps Jesus Christ, pure good, to just name a name. And between on this continuum, a lot of us are there. And I'm not about to make myself, along this continuum anywhere in either of the two sides. I'm just another human being who's had my rights and wrongs throughout my life. And I think majority of the people probably follow into that normal distribution curve of good and evil. Uh, I would put it that way anyhow. And my definition, therefore, of evil is those people who have gone so far from pure good that they keep going towards that other side, the other dark side of evil. The question about Satan and the devil and all that, I will leave it to theologians. I don't know why I would need to believe in the devils and and angels and genies and whatever other ones. I don't know if it's necessary. It may be necessary for some religions in order to establish their basis of their faith in certain aspects, but up to this session, as I mentioned, the relationship between me and my God is so personal. I don't need these, and based on that, I wouldn't need to explain anymore the diseases and all that. Diseases, again, and volcanoes, diseases are a natural result of insects and bacteria. There's where science comes to my rescue. There are a lot of people that die. I know you're going to say, well, why isn't God interfering? I will leave that matter for another session perhaps, but for now, I'm just trying to get to the root of this point of good versus evil, and just describe my philosophy that this is a continuum, and most people fall somewhere along this continuum, and I pray that I move in the right direction in my life if I do want to not only believe but hopefully um, have my soul uh, in the ever after, wherever it will be, as opposed to actions of moving me in the dark side. That I believe. It's interesting to underline the word I believe, going in that direction, um, because of my upbringing, or because of what I've read, or maybe because the God that I believe in tells me that going in that direction is a direction of destruction. And I also believe that a lot of people have gone in that direction for a variety of reasons, towards pure evil. Because, and when I say for a variety of reasons, maybe I should give example of that. What's happening today in my life is the appearance of a group of people that are beheading people, killing people, raping women, all under the guise of one of their religions that they profess. And so they're moving more and more towards pure evil because their relationship to the Creator, that they believe so high in it, is all based on, without a doubt, it's based on a lie, and their relationship with fellow human beings is completely wrong because it doesn't obey the principle, do to others what you want others to do to you. These people don't believe in that principle whatsoever, and they don't believe that their neighbor, to love their neighbor. On the contrary, anybody who's different, cut their heads. So that's what pure evil is about. This is going in that direction of pure evil. There may still be some good parts in their mind, in their heart, their soul, but I think very little, and the little that they have is this conviction of perhaps that they're going to go to this Jannah, this paradise with 72 virgins waiting for them. excuse me, but I'm jumping the gun here in my sessions. I just wanted to explain the difference between good and evil and to give my explanation of why there is evil in the world. The evil exists because a lot of us have very little goodness left because we choose to go in that direction of pure evil. And very few of us also go in the direction of pure goodness. And so that's my philosophy. I'll leave it at that for now.